Hi guys, it's Fentony back with another Fantastic Beasts video, and today we've got lots of stuff to talk about, including new footage, new foes, and news about the third trailer. So Warner Brothers have released quite a lot. First up, the new footage. It's only a couple seconds long and it was tagged inside, one of the Lumos charity event promotions. But it features Nicholas Flamel casting some sort of spell inside the Paris mausoleum. Newt Scamander casts some sort of spell in London, and Grindelwald deflects Leah Lestrange's spell. So Leah does go to the mausoleum, and she's inside the amphitheatre below the cemetery. And I'm going to talk about it later on because there's a picture of it, but it looks like Grindelwald wants her on his side. And we know from the trailer that Newt Scamander, Tina, Jacob and Theseus, and who knows who else are going to be there. And it looks like they confront Grindelwald, and he attacks them. So it looks like he's walking up to Newt maybe, and threatens him. And then Leah casts a jinx or a spell behind him, and Grindelwald just easily knocks it away, not even looking at her. Grindelwald's no joke, guys. He was taken down at the end of the first film, but this time it's going to be different. His plan might be stopped, but he's not going to be defeated. He's not going to be locked up again. Remember, Grindelwald is the master of the Elder Wand, and he has it in his possession now, something he didn't have in the first film. And Grindelwald's in the league with Dumbledore, in terms of power. So we've also got some photos now. There's Newt and Tina inside the French Ministry of Magic, and people say this is the record room. They could be looking for proof on who Credence is. Remember guys, from the first trailer it was revealed that Credence is actually called Corvus Lestrange, and he's the half-brother of Leah. And then there's Theseus and Leah inside Hogwarts. We know that Theseus, Leah, and the rest of the Ministry of Magic officials go to Hogwarts to question Dumbledore. There's also concept art of Newt's basement, Grindelwald inside the amphitheatre with his arms raised. We have seen parts of this scene before. It's when he gives his speech to his followers, and I think it's going to be one of the best scenes in the entire film. We've heard some of the speech from the trailer, and I believe more of it from the speech that Johnny Depp made at Comic-Con. We know that Grindelwald is amassing a massive army, and he's got a lot of supporters, and they all gather in the amphitheatre below the cemetery. But it looks like in the final battle, most of his followers are not actually there. They disapparate out of there, and it's really only Grindelwald and Vinda Rosier. Remember, the amphitheatre is below the Paris cemetery, and it features the Lestrange family mausoleum. And like I said earlier, Credence is a Lestrange. And then there's this image that I talked about earlier of Grindelwald trying to welcome Leah Lestrange, holding his hand out to her. But we know she attacks him later on. But then again, we don't know the context, so let's not exactly rush into it. And then there's also Leah Yusuf Kama, who we believe is going to be related to Leah, as Leah's mother was Lauriana Kama, and of course Tina. And then there's Vinda Rosier with the skull. This skull looks to be, the big main plot point of this film. We've seen in a teaser trailer where the Elder Wand activates it, and the eyes glow. And supposedly on the skull it says, in German translated to English, for the greater good. We think that Grindelwald wants to use this skull, and there's lots of theories on what it is, but right now we're not exactly sure. Another picture of Newt and Tina, and it looks like Newt's actually holding the portrait of Tina, and I'm not exactly sure, but they look kinda happy. We do know they're supposed to have some sort of disagreement, and they kinda drift apart a bit. Newt wants to go back to New York to see Tina and give her a copy of his book, but supposedly the Ministry block his travel. And then there's an image later on that I'm going to talk about now. It's the book signing, and we have seen this before, but this time we see the full shot. Not only is Newt joined by Bunty, his assistant, and Leah Lestrange, but also his brother Theseus. And suppose this image is going to be in the paper, and Tina sees this, and that's why, her and Newt kind of fall out. I'm not exactly sure why, but if you think about it, Tina does know about Leah, doesn't she? And we know that Newt carried a picture of Leah inside his suitcase. Maybe Tina sees this, and sees Newt and Leah standing together. This image of Theseus and Newt, they both look shocked, and I do believe this image has been released in full HD on its own. Tina and Yusuf Kama together, and I do believe there was a behind the scenes shot of the director David Yates and the two Scamander brothers inside this building. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but it has to be important if all these characters are coming there. Newt and Jacob on the white cliffs of Dover. So it looks like Newt and Jacob must travel to Paris from the white cliffs of Dover. I'm sure in the first trailer there was actually someone else there. It could be Dumbledore, it could be someone else. Credence and the unnamed Maledictus inside the mausoleum. We do believe that Credence is going to be looking for his true identity in Paris. It looks like he tracks his mother down, and I do believe his mother was called Clarice Tremblay, and she married Corvus Lestrange, and she was his second wife. and then Credence is sent over to America for some unknown reason. There's also lots of character profile shots, and then there's been some merchandise released, and it might have revealed Newt Scamander's Patronus. J.K. Rowling did say it's a big spoiler, and these character shots kind of show the characters' silhouettes and some sort of animal through them, and it definitely looks like a Patronus. So Newt's Patronus might be a Kelpie. Some people are not very happy about this, as they wanted perhaps a Thunderbird or a Niffler or something like that, or even a Newt, but it looks like it could be a Kelpie. And J.K. Rowling says it's a spoiler. Niffler babies? Yep, there's gonna be Niffler babies. We know this, but one of them is actually called Einstein. I'm sure it's the grey one, and the others probably have famous science names as well. So does this mean the original Niffler has a name as well? There's lots of symbols of death, Deathly Hallows. Something big's gonna happen, guys. Remember, Grindelwald wants, to tear down the International Statue of Secrecy and make the wizards on top. But he also wants the Deathly Hallows, and he has the Elder Wand. So he wants to become the Master of Death. And this skull might be connected to the Hallows. So let's talk about this trailer news. Supposedly it's coming on Monday. Supposedly Warner Brothers have sent invites to fans for this upcoming event in New York, and at least 2 people have tweeted about this, but the tweets are no longer there. They have been deleted. So there's no official word if a trailer's coming, but this source does say it's going to come on Monday. And if it does come on Monday, there's definitely going to be a breakdown on the channel. And like I said in previous videos for the final trailer, I want to do a Funko Pop Crimes of Grindelwald giveaway. So there's also been some information released from some behind the scenes and some merchandise stuff. Theseus is 8 years older than Newt, and his wand has a tortoise shell handle. Newt is questioned by Torquil Travers, the head of magical law enforcement, and also Theseus, who is actually the head Auror at the British Ministry of Magic. This is meant to be the hearing room inside the ministry. As Newt is walking home from the ministry, something taps him on the shoulder, and it's that glove that we see in the trailer, and that's how we meet Dumbledore. So Dumbledore is watching Newt, and he's kind of following him, and we have seen them meet in the daytime, but also in nighttime London. So there's a picture of Grindelwald, in a cell, on a chair. He's been held in the Makusa prison at the roof of the Woolworth-built skyscraper. He's on his own in a cell that's got nothing in it but a chair. He's tied to the chair, and the air around him is filled with protective spells. Makusa know how dangerous Grindelwald is, and they're taking no chances here. We know that Grindelwald's going to be extradited to Europe to face trial, and it's going to be done by Thestral carriage, as they can't apparate from New York over to Europe. It's too far, and Thestrals are a safe way of transport. It's going to be done by Abernathy, who's actually going to be the one that helps Grindelwald escape. Also President Pickery, and also a character called Spielman, who's the German head of incarceration at the International Confederation of Wizards. We know that Grindelwald's prison/castle, Nuremberg, is inside Switzerland, and Grindelwald's actually a village inside that country, so we believe that Grindelwald might be Swiss. But if the German head of incarceration is escorting Grindelwald, could that mean that Grindelwald's also a German citizen? Or maybe he was born in Germany? And then there's a final bit of information about Newt's book launch. It's featured in the magazine Spellbound with a moving photo, and this photo is what Tina sees, which causes unfortunate repercussions. We all know that Tina and Newt will eventually get married and have children together, but it looks like it's going to be a long road before we get down that way. They've obviously got feelings for each other at the end of the first film, but they're separated by distance now, and then Newt's not coming over to New York because he's blocked, by the ministry, but Tina might not know that, and then she sees Newt with his old friend from school, Lita, who he actually has a picture of inside his suitcase. Honestly guys, there's been so much released, and I am sorry if I missed anything. So down in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on anything I've been talking about, or anything Fantastic Beasts related. And don't forget, if that trailer does come out on Monday, I will be doing a breakdown as soon as possible. So remember to leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're new to the channel and you love Fantastic Beasts, you love Harry Potter, make sure you subscribe. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.